What is up, tubers? Tio here, Simplistic Fishing, coming back at you tonight to continue our lake breakdown series for Clarks Hill Lake or Clarks Hill Reservoir out in South Carolina. We've had a ton of videos so far, so if you missed any of the videos so far and you want to catch up, go look at the lake breakdown playlist on Simplistic Fishing. We've got them all out there. We've gone through all of the satellite imagery and marked all kinds of good stuff, from brush piles to fish attractors to rocky areas to hard spots, all that good stuff. And now what we're doing is we're switching over using the Navionics mobile app to look at the contours on this lake and show you the offshore spots. So we've already talked about this section, kind of broken the lake down into multiple sections. We talked about Highway 47 West on the last couple videos, and now on the very last video, we actually started right here at 47. We worked our way all the way down here to the dam. So tonight we're going to start at the dam and we're going to work our way, hopefully, all the way back to Highway 47 if we have enough time. So that's what we're going to do tonight. So real quick, before we get started, don't forget, go out, check out simplisticfishing.com. We have all these waypoints available to you to put on your graph. You can either download them using the digital files, or you can actually order the SD card and I can create the card for you, and then you can just put the card in your graph, do the import, and off you go. The other thing, if you don't want to put all this stuff on your graphs, or if you want a little more functionality, we just launched the Simplistic Fishing mobile app. It's out on the App Store and Google Play Store. It allows you to favorite waypoints, save waypoints, create new waypoints. It's got weather on there. It's got filtering waypoints. It's got all kinds of crazy stuff. So go check it out. It's a 3-day free trial. Right now, you purchase it by region. So if you get the Clarks Hill region, that's the southeast region. That's a whole bunch of lakes all throughout that whole region. We are working on doing a single lake option, so that should be coming pretty soon as well. All right, let's go ahead and get started. I've said my spill. Let's jump in here and let's see what we can find out here down by the dam. So I'm just going to kind of zoom in here and we'll try to go through these. We've got a lot to cover today, so I'm just kind of pinpoint out the ones that we marked here. So obviously, just like we talked about last time, this one has a really nice flat top to it, right? Real nice flat top to it. Probably, I don't even know what that is. It's 3 or 4 feet, so very shallow, but then it has that nice break at the end of it. So this could be a good hard spot, could be rocky. It's just a really good point. Plus it's right there, really close to the dam. Then you got a nice little secondary point here with some good breaks. You've got another one of those little hooks that you hear me talk about a lot right here. That one looks good with a nice little point that's got a road bed out to the edge of it. So that one looks pretty healthy as well. Let's scoot up here and see what else we can find. This is a little recreational area over here. We got a nice point that comes off over here. We've got these humps that are out here, right? 1, 2, you got a point here and a little point that comes off the edge of that island. Now the key thing about up here, when you're looking at these, is this road bed. So that road bed is coming right across the tops of those points and those humps, and that is definitely, you know, you've heard me say it before, if you can find one thing, that's always good. You know, when you look at the contours, you can find one thing. If you can find 2 things, that's great. If you can find 3, that's just wonderful, right? So this one over here looks really cool too. It's this point that comes off here. Most people are going to come out here and probably want to fish maybe those foundations or something, but they're not going to realize that the point actually comes off this way, and you've got a really nice little break that comes off there. So really like that one. Let's scoot back in here, see what else we can find back in here. A couple different points. This one, obviously you got the nice flat top to it, but you've heard me say about it a lot. I tend to find them a lot right where it's really steep and then it goes to shallow. So kind of like on that little break line, right, that whole transition right there, that tends to be like a secret spot for me for some reason. So check it out. They could be up here on top 2 feet and all that good stuff, but for whatever reason, it just seems to work out very well for me. All right, we also have these secondary points that are back here, nice little rounded point. This one's pretty good too. I could see them getting up there and hanging out. So all kinds of good stuff back in there. Let's zoom back out. Now, you showed you guys where I was. We were down there on the bottom. And now we're gonna just move into kind of this area right in here. So I'm gonna zoom in. We already talked about these 3, so let's go ahead and move on up and we'll talk about this little area in here. So really, really good breaks here. Look how sharp these breaks are. Like right here, you got this little bitty point that comes out and then really big breaks. Same thing here. And then a nice little flat top with some decent breaks out here as well. Same thing here, but you've also got a road bed that's in here too. There's road beds all over this thing. So we got a road bed right here. We got a nice break, almost like a little hook there. Nice little flat top. It's probably 5, 6 foot, something like that. So you're probably gonna see the break there, and they should be right around that break area. You got another one here too. Same type thing. As we move on up, we get into this cove up here. We've got a couple good spots here. We've actually got two little flats, right? Like two little tabletops here. One's right here with a super big break. Then you drop down a couple feet and you have another one with another good little point with the break. So I marked all of them. They're like all like just little rounded points that come off these little flats. You've also got this area up here. Now, one thing you may want to check out, I didn't mark it here. It may be marked on the Google Earth side, but is to come back around here, either side, and really fish this saddle, like the breaks around the saddle and the top of the saddle. These can be good spots right here as well. All right, so we got some more points here. Got a couple more points back there to take a look at. We zoom up, got kind of the same thing here, right? Just some rounded points, but some really good breaks right off the edges of them. Back here, this just looks like a really good spot because if you zoomed in there, there's a little creek bed that goes right here, and that creek bed swings right up against that point. So right in there. That one looked really, really good. All right, let's zoom up here. Now let's go in to this area and see what we got here. Well, out here we've got a road bed, right? And then we got a nice little break that's out there as well. We come up in here. We've got another thing, just kind of like what we saw earlier, right? It depends on the depth that the fish are in. So if they're shallower, it's probably gonna be better up here where you've got the flat top and the breaks. And if they're deeper, then just pull back a little bit more and you can get out into 40-something foot here, but you got a nice little flat top that's right there too. And the key thing here is you've got a creek channel. It's hard to see, but that creek channel is running right through here and it could even possibly touch there. The way those contours are super, super tight like that, it means you've got a really good break there. And typically when they get really crammed like that in an area like this around a creek channel, it usually means the creek channel's hitting it or getting really close to it. You got some really good points here, right? These are both surrounded by the creek channels. So I like those. And then here you got a nice rounded point back in here. All right, let's move up here. Let's get out more towards Main Lake, see what we can find. We got some pretty good points here. Nice little point that comes out with a nice break. Same thing here, nice flat top with the break. This is a really good looking point. It extends pretty far out. It's got a nice flat top on it. It's got access to deep water all around it. It just looks really, really good. You got that hump out here too. And then if we zoom back in, kind of come up here, we've got this this point here too. This is another, these are the ones I always talk about, the long extended ones. And this one's a little bit wider. I like those skinnier ones, but the long extended ones like this are typically pretty good in the fall time. So some things to look at, but this is definitely going to be a, basically May to the end of fall. Well, actually probably all the way out through winter until you get into spring and then move off the offshore stuff and go back into the shallows. So, all right, let's move up here and let's look at this area, because this area, if I have in my mind, hey, I'm going to go fish offshore, I'm probably going to head here first because there's just a lot of opportunities here. You could probably scan for 45 minutes trying to figure out where the heck they are, but look at all the juice that's here. Okay, let's just talk about it really quick. We've got a road bed that's right here, and then we've got these humps, right? These humps are at 10 foot, but if you look at the water that's around them, that's 114 foot out here. That's insanity. So going from 114 foot all the way up to 10 foot. You've got rocks that are out here. You've got good breaks. I've tried to just kind of mark the key areas in here, but just that whole thing just looks really, really good. And then, maybe you don't want to go that far out there. Maybe you just want to fish the point. Well, the point looks good too. It's got two road beds that come off of it, and it's got a nice flat top to it as well. So just some really good stuff there. These are kind of the same. You can see those points that we've been talking about. We'll move on up here into the back of this, and it's got some pretty good points too. I mean, look at these nice flat tops with nice breaks. There's a long extended point that's leading back into some spawning flats. You've got some really good points here. Just good looking stuff all throughout here. All right, looks like we're in Howell Branch now, so if you're trying to follow me, at least you'll know where I'm at, because we finally got a name, but let's keep moving. Same thing here, right? I'm looking at these points that extend out and have breaks off the edges of them. You got a really nice one here. You got a good one here that has a nice little hook that has a good break to it. Another nice rounded one. And then if we move on up here, we've got a nice rounded with some good breaks, nice flat top. Secondary point here. It's kind of rounded, I like it. Another rounded point here with some good breaks. Same thing here. This one's interesting because it comes out, it has that flat top to it, But then if you move over here to the side, you're seeing some pretty significant breaks right in that little area. So if I zoom in here, you can see how close those get together. So right here, it's only 15 foot, but right here is 40 foot. So a big difference there in the depths. So definitely something to go explore. All right, let's keep moving, see what else we can find here. We got this point here that has some pretty good breaks. And then we've got this one that's really long and extended. It's only about 15 foot on top. That looks juicy for sure. Something I would definitely want to take a look at. All right, let's keep moving through here. These are all pretty much the same, but really just pointing them out. These long points, flat tops. We got a couple humps. Some more points here with this. The break here is really good. Like that one. That one's going from about 15 to 40 again. And then we move over here. We've got some more humps and points. A little hump off of a point, I guess you could say. This is a little point that comes out, has really nice breaks. And this one's got a really nice flat top to it as well. Then we're going to move on up here, see what else we got. Got this right here, these little hooks, right? I think if you've watched any of my videos, you've probably heard me talk about it a lot, but finding those little hooks, if you find a point that has like a hook, fish that little hook area. They tend to like that area for whatever reason. So fish that little hook area, but really here, you're just going to fish the point, but definitely that little area right in there. Another good point here, and notice the roadbed, right? The roadbeds are key. So if you're fishing this point, don't be scared to move over a little bit and see if they're hanging around that old debris from the roadbed, if there's any remnants of it. Some of these say there's roadbeds, and you go out there and it's been there so long it's just completely washed out. Now this is an interesting offshore spot because it doesn't really look like it's that far off, but if you look at it from here, like if I zoom out, you can see why I picked it. Look how deep that water is close to that bank line. So you've got a good flat here, right here, that probably comes off the bank line, I don't know, 10, 15 yards, 20 yards, and then all of a sudden the bottom's just going to fall out of it. For whatever reason, that one just stuck out to me. There may not be anything there at all, but places like that, for whatever reason, just jump out to me. I would look in here, and I would definitely look right around in here. Okay, let's keep going because we got a lot to cover tonight. So we're going to move on out here and see what else we can find. Now you do have these humps that are out here. I didn't mark this one. I probably should have. I was thinking that was 30 feet, maybe too deep, but this was 24 foot, and it's right on the edge of the river channel, which is probably money. So definitely should have marked that one. So if you're watching the video, you got a little bonus there that this one should have been marked, and this one should have been marked too. It's 21 foot. It's a hump. It looks really good. I think I just missed it probably when I was coming up the side here, but definitely look at both of those. Those could be pretty healthy, especially in the summertime and even out towards the wintertime. All right, let's move up, see what else we got. We got these points right here. We got good breaks right in here. We got a nice long, really long extended point that you could mess around on. And then if it didn't work, you come out here. There's a nice hump out here too. Off the edge of this island that's out here, you've got a roadbed on one side. And then on this side, you've got a nice little point that comes out that it just breaks off. So really good breaks on this side. Nice flat tops up here with a couple different breaks. Again, that little side corner, right? You got the flat that's up here, but then really big breaks off the side. Some good looking stuff there. A couple road beds back here to take a look at. You got one right here, one back here. This one goes off the top of that point, so you may want to check out that point as well. I marked these two just because you got really good points here with really good breaks, and this one comes out pretty good and real close to deep water and also real close to that roadbed. All right, let's move on up, see what else we got. Another good little point here. This looks all kinds of juicy. We got this, I guess you'll call it a point that comes out, maybe a bunch of humps, whatever you want to call it, but something really cool. Out here, we got a little hump here. Got a nice one that's out here too. Look at the breaks that are going on like right in there. I mean, that's pretty significant. Got a nice, if you just want to get up close, you don't want to get that far out, you could also come in between, kind of the saddle between those things and fish those road beds that are there because those can be productive as well. All right, moving on up here, we've got a nice little point here with a good little drop off that's out to the edge of it. We've also got Another one that's up here, good little point with a roadbed. So this one looks even better. And then we've also got this thing that comes out. It looks like a little point with a pretty good little hook, some really good breaks, all kinds of good stuff. And don't forget, we've marked all of these culverts and bridges too, so you'll want to look at those when you get in the back of these things and you get those. You'll definitely want to take a look at those. All right, let's look at this right here. So we've got a good little point here that comes out, nice little flat top. Another one that comes out pretty good here, 8, 9 foot on top. Nice little hump out here with some good breaks. Nice flats out here with some good breaks. There's so much offshore stuff on this lake. There's no way I could mark it all. It'd take years to try to explore it all, but I try to just really hit some of these key spots for you so you can kind of get an idea of what you're going to want to look for when you're out there. But this lake has plenty of offshore opportunities. We got a couple more humps that are out here as well. We got a nice point that's up here, you can see. Another good point here with some good breaks. This one here has a road bed. Or actually, that's a creek bed. My apologies. That's not a road bed. It's a creek bed. So the creek beds are dotted. So that's got a creek bed that runs right up against, right where I put that at. So that could be a nice little spot right there. Then we get back in here. Try not to get too far ahead of myself here. We've got these humps, which I may have already talked about. This one comes out pretty good. Nice little point, has a little saddle right there, and then you come out to these humps at 16 foot. This is a nice little flat top point. And if you get way out here, just a little bit more, you've got something interesting going on here with some major breaks too, so you might just want to check that out. And then of course you got the little secondary point that's back there. All right, I'm gonna have to check and see where we are because I just checked my time and there's no way I'm gonna be able to get that whole other side done in 15 minutes. So what we're probably gonna do is finish up this video right around in this area. We'll talk about a couple more of these and then we'll start back on the next video. We'll start back and actually let's keep going. We'll go down to right here and we'll stop right there. So I'm gonna go ahead and take that little marker and I'm gonna change it to man overboard. That means I'm done once I get to there. All right, so we're gonna move up. We already talked about this area. This is where that break is, right? Where we're changing sections. So let's move over here now. Let's get around this island. I don't know if this island has a name or not, but some good stuff out on the island, right? Same type stuff that we were looking at. We've got a nice little point that comes out here, nice flat top, good breaks there as well. This one comes out, it's got a roadbed out here you could explore. A hump that's out here at 7 foot. It's like 7 to 10 foot right in here. That one looks pretty good too. Just off the outside edge of that island. All right, let's move back in here because we got a few things to look at back in here. Try to take it to where we can point them all out. So up here at the very top, I know it's hard to see. I'm gonna pull it down so you can see it. But look at that thing. Roadbed, big drop, vegetation. Lots of good stuff going on right in there. We've also got a shallow area up here, like this little hump that's up here. But again, you've got these road beds everywhere. Back here, you've got this creek bed that's moving around. And if you look really closely, it touches this point right there. And that's where I've got the marker at. Same type thing back here. You'll probably start seeing a pattern, right? I'm looking for that flat stuff with those breaks. There's definitely something there. You got a nice point here too. Same thing here. You got a road bed coming off the edge of this point. Probably should have marked that one because of that road bed. You've got a nice hump that's out here too. These are, I'll zoom in here and you can see it a little bit better. These are all like little humps that are out here, but this one looks good. I didn't mark these because it kind of tapers off. Not much. Actually, that's a pretty good break there, but look at the break on these. Those look really, really good. So definitely look at those. And then let's go down. We've got to go, what, 5 or 6 more here. So we've got another good little point that comes out here. That was a little bit hidden, right? It's not just, you think when you come back here, most people are probably going to fish here. They're not going to think to come out here. They're not going to think there's an underwater point there. We've also got a nice little hump that's out here with really good breaks. If you go out just a little bit further, you can kind of see this is probably a little creek channel or something, and it swings right here and it touches the edge of that. Then we're going to move up a little bit further, way out in the middle out there. I think we already talked about those, but if not, we've got these humps that are out here, and then another one that's out here. Right? Those are just way out in the middle of nowhere. And we got a dog barking right here at the end. Then we've got a hump, another point here with a nice good roadbed. And then lastly, we've got a nice long point that comes out here with some really good breaks off the side of this. And then I just like the outside edge of this point. It just looks really, really good. And then that finishes us off. We're gonna stop right here at this point. This is a main lake point, kind of rounded point, fairly close to the river channel. Definitely worth checking out and see if you got any activity there. All right, so let's end there. And when I come back on the next video, we're gonna attempt to finish this out. There's so many waypoints to cover. I don't want to shortchange you guys. So we'll come back, we'll do one more video on this area, and then we'll continue on with the offshore spots for the rest of the lake. So guys, make sure to go out, check out our website, simplisticfishing.com, where you can pick up all the waypoints, get an SD card, get the digital files, all that good stuff. And also, don't forget, we just launched the Simplistic Fishing mobile app. It's available on the Google Play Store and the App Store. 3-day free trial, so go check it out. No harm, no loss. And until next time, I hope you catch your PB. Take it easy.